Okay, good evening, guys. So this is the assignment. This is threshinghouse.org. So you are to redesign the Evo page. This is the Evo section of the website. This first banner. So Evo section is the first banner you see when you come to any website. So this is the Evo section of this. Now let me open another website to show you the Evo section of my own website. The network is a little bit slow. So to get this done, you have to also look at different Evo section, how different Evo section have been done. So we have something like this. You come down, we have Pinterest.com. So Pinterest.com is a platform where you get so many inspiration about different designs. So you can just come down here and type Evo page, Evo web design. You can come click on Evo web design or Evo websites design. So it depends on what you're looking for. So for this website now, this is the Evo page of this site. So the Evo page entails your hello, I am Peter Felix, I'm a product designer, web developer, this, that, and that, and that. So this is this for this Evo section. So for this Threshing House Evo section, this is what we have. So if you are redesigning the Evo section, it should be far more better than what we have here. You can put a little you can bring in your creativity into play, but don't go outside. Their color should you maintain their color, maintain the text they have, maintain the button, so you can just walk around something nice. So let's quickly get some design done. Let's go down to Figma. On this part, I can type Figma. It depends on the window you're using. So this is my Figma tool. I've asked you guys to download Figma earlier on. So let me open a new section. So let me open a new section. I think this is where we stopped last. So for Figma, you can press your once you open your Figma, remember you have to sign up and all that. So you can press Ctrl N or just press Ctrl N on your laptop to open a new file. So we have FigJam. I'm going to show you the work of FigJam as the course progresses. So let's use this Figma and new design file. So once you click, it's loading. Okay, so we are here. So this is your pixel. If you are used to design, you know some of this tool. You'll move to your skate tool, your skate tool. So let me open a new page. You can press your letter A on your keyboard. Once you press your letter A, all these frames will appear, or you click on frame here. This part, you either click on this frame or you press the shortcut is letter A on your keyboard. So we have, let's go with the desktop frame. We have the front frame. If you want to design app, you go with your phone frame. We have iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro. So different phone size, Android small, Android large. The last time I did the design, I think I used an Android large. So we have for tablets. So all these are here for responsiveness. So if you're designing a full website, you have to work for design for responsiveness. You have to work on the desktop view, tablet view, and also phone view. But for now, we are just doing a normal design. Let's go with the desktop. So under desktop, we have MacBook Air, MacBook Pro 14, so different stuff. So let's go with the normal desktop frame. So once you click, this is what you have. You can also move this frame around. Your screen might be different from what I have here. Your screen might be different. So Control and plus will, Control and minus will zoom, Control and plus, or Shift and F2 will bring fit to screen, right? Control and minus will zoom in and zoom out. Then, so remember, this is the frame. This is your tool. We have different tools here, the rectangle tool, line tool, the arrow tool. So to draw your tool, click on any of those stuff, you click and drag. So this is for rectangle tool. To reduce, you click and reduce. Now we have this, your move tool, you can move it around. You can also use your move tool to scale to. Now we have the scale, and also take note of the shortcuts. Once you press V, V will change to your move tool. Then we have the scale tool. The scale tool help you to increase all sides of, it's maintain a perfect shape. It will affect all the four sides of your image. That is the difference between your scale tool and your move tool. So let's go down to the move tool. So if I use move tool now, it's not affecting the four side, it's just affecting just one part of the screen. So we have other shapes here. We have the line shapes. Now to draw a perfect line, you have to hold down on your shifts, then click and drag. Now, if I didn't hold down on my shifts, my line will not be that straight. I have something like this. Now look at this angle. These are the properties of your line. Now look at the direction the rotation path is showing. I can type this to 0 and my enter key, we have something like this. Now your line to also have what we refer to as stroke. We have different stroke settings. This is where you put in your color, the color of your line, right? To get other colors, you can scroll from this part and see colors is changing. Now the thickness of your line, this part can increase to 5. You can see this one is far thicker than this. Now the properties are not showing. Once you click on it, the properties will appear, right? Now for this tool, this part, you can also put in your fill and your stroke for your rectangle. This is the fill. Now I can use any color of my choice. Now I want to add a stroke to this. I will activate this plus icon here. Once you click on the plus, you can now give it a stroke. Let's increase the stroke. You can see now that there's a black stroke around this. You can change the color of your stroke too by coming down to this part to change the color of your stroke. Let's use something visible. Right? Okay. Now that is that for shape. We have different shapes. We have your arrow. Now to bring in your image, you can use this to bring in image. Click on it. Let's see if I have any image here. Okay, to bring in this image. Now just click on place. Once you click on place all, is to place your image here. Now you can reduce your image. Sorry. Now if there's any mistake or error, just press your Ctrl Z or Ctrl Z to go back to the previous part. Now the best way to scale your image is to come down. You can press your K to scale. Now it will affect the whole side of. Now to zoom out, you can hold down your Shift and 2 to zoom to fit the screen. Shift and 2, don't forget that. Now I can use my scale tool to reduce. Instead of using my move tool, I can use my scale tool to reduce. Now, hope you are getting the whole process. Now, for the assignment, okay, the next tool, we have your pen tool. Now, for those that have worked with CorelDRAW, Photoshop, and all that, you should understand the meaning of pen tool. Now, we have the pen tool, we have the pencil tool. Pen tool is also like your line tool, but with this, you can actually use this to draw a logo. You can also do a curve part here, run a curve here. So it all depends on what you want to use. But for now, you don't need this for this assignment. As time goes on, you are going to learn more about all these tools, right? Once you are done, you click on done. So what is this shape? I think this is, I don't know. Now, this is your test tool. The test tool is one of the most important tool. The test tool is one of the most important tool that you have on your Figma. Very, very important. So once you want to type now, you just click on it and type. You can see. Now, these are the properties here. Now, these are the properties here. Under your text, we have the text here. You can change your font style here. Just click on this area to change your font style. We have different font style, but I love going with Roboto and Lato. So it all depends. You can use any font that works fine for you. Now, to increase your font size, you can also click on this part to increase your font size. You get now. If you know your font type on your off ad, you have to just type it here. Then, or you want to use other fonts, Roboto. Now, also Roboto have different classes under it: Roboto Condense, Roboto Flex, Roboto Mono. So it depends on what you are going for. Now, this part, once you have choose your font style, we also have the thickness of your fonts. We have light, we have regular. So the higher you go, the bolder it becomes. We have medium, we have bold, we have light italic. So it depends on, and each font have their properties, different font style with different properties. If I choose Lato, let's look at what Lato have. Lato have from here is Lato property is like seriously long. We have the airline. Airline is so thin. So we have the thin. So it depends on what you want. We have black. So just take note of those properties. Then I'm going to explain all this later on as we move on with the course. Okay. So let's quickly walk around. Now we have the resources. You can get some plugins from this part. So we are going to talk more about plugins as we move on to. Now this is your hand tool. You can use this to move your page around. That is the function of the hand tool. Now this is the comments. We are also going to work on this comments aspect to add comments to your work as we move on. So let's go down to today's assignment, which is very, very important. Now, don't forget we have to use our frame. Now we are using the desktop frame. What do I want to design? Now, I won't design this threshing house because this is your assignment. Now, let's assume I want to design something like this of this nature. Now we have this first test. Let me copy. Hello. Okay. Now we have our test tool, and also maintain works on your margin. Now for the margin aspect, I'm going to explain that once we start our normal full projects. Now look at the margin here and the margin here, they're somehow equal. Now you have to work on your margin to give your design a breathing space. Not that you will start at the edge here to start typing. Now, if I want to type, I can just place it, right? Sorry, something is wrong with. Let me delete this and hello, I am. Okay, this is what we have for the first part. And also take note of the hierarchy of your test. This is small, by this one bigger, and this, we have this. Now let's work on that, on the hierarchy. Now you can't use 64 for this. Let's try to use something smaller. Let's go with 24, or let's go with 34 for hierarchy's sake. Now, don't worry, you are also going to work on your style guide and component as we move on. Now, how do you want it to be? Do you want it to be black? I won't choose black here. Let me choose medium. Or let's go with semi-bold. Semi-bold is fine. Now, hello, I am. Now, the next one, you can duplicate this to type in caps, Peter Felix. Now, remember that this one is big and also very bold. We had to work on that. Let's give size 64 and see. Okay, 64 is okay. Now, the boldness, you have to increase the boldness of your text. Let's say black. Okay, hope we're following. Now, let me duplicate this, put down here. Now look at, it's showing 16, 16. It means that 16, 16 is my space within. Now you must work on the spacing to have equal spacing, right? Now, the next test is I am a product. Let me see if I can copy this. Right. Okay, Control V. Okay, we have that. Now, if you take notes, the fonts are different. This is different from this, the size, and also the thickness. So let's work on that also. Let's reduce the fonts to 24. Okay, and let's work on the boldness. Let's use medium, right? Now, let's see how it is structured. I am Peter Felix, blah, 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 passionate about. Okay, so to move all your tests, just click and drag around, then you can move. Now, if I click and drag around, you can see that these tests are not on the same line. You can see that there's still small space. They are not on the same line. You can use this your tool to centralize to left. Sorry. It's not going to left. Okay. I think they are on the same line now. And you can also, okay. So I think they're on the same line now. Hope we are following. So let's look at the settings on what we have here. I am a product designer. So the word product designer and web developer are underlined and also with different this thing, with different color. Now let's get that done. Product designer and web developer. I think is somehow bolder too. Let's change the boldness to, let's use semi-bold, right? So it's bold now. Let's zoom in, Shift and 2. Don't forget that. Shift and 2 we zoom. Now, the next thing we have, just click here to check more properties on the line. We have the underlying properties here, right? Hope we're getting it. Now, you might not use this on the line. You might want to use your line too, because I think the underline is different from the underline color is different from the text color. So let's work with, to cancel your underline, just click on this minus button none. Now let's just give it a color. Let's give it a fill color. It might not be exact color that we have there. Let's give it something darker. Okay. Right now, I will just use my line tool under this part. Line. Click and drag. Now take it down a little. You can use your down arrow key to bring it down a bit. Okay. Hope you're on the same. And I think it's somehow in italic format. How will I make it italic? Highlight it again. Come down to, now you can use Control I to make it italic. Now come down to, let's check these settings. The italic setting is not here. Okay, the italic setting is not on this. Okay, I use Control I now, is now on italic. I use Control I, so it's on italic now. The setting is not here. I don't know why. Now, also take note of this line. This line has moved and the text is now shrinked. Now let's reduce the line. Now take notes, the line is not straight. That is why it's showing this -0. So just change this to 0. You can also hold down on your shift key to reduce your line, right? Okay, so the next thing we have on our list is a button. Now let me quickly explain how to create this button. Okay, we have this too. This user is like on the line, then we have this. So let's use the same process to create this. The user, we have a line on it. So you come down to this part, line through, right? And I think it's bold. Control B to bold. We can do that. Now let's fill our color. We use the same color for it. Right? So we have this going. Now to do your button, we are going to work on style guide and component, and I'm going to show you how to create button. But let's quickly do this button. Download CV. Let's type that. Now we have what we refer to as auto layouts. Your auto layouts, you can do your Shift and A to add your auto layouts, right? So let's quickly add auto layouts to our. So just press your Shift and your A to add your auto layout. So once you press, take note of this box, Shift and A, the box has increased, right? You can also remove your auto layout from this part too. So, right, to add your auto layout, you can use here or you can remove it from there. Let me Control Z to this. Now, Shift and A will give you the auto layouts. Shift and A, we have our auto layout now. Now, once you are used to web design, we have what we refer to as padding and margin. Padding is the space in the box. Now, how can we achieve that? So let's give our background, let's give our color first. We have our color, so you click on fill to give your color. So let's use the same color. Now our text color, to give your text color, just double click on the box, double click on it. You'll see another box around it. You can come down to your color here to give it the white color, right? I will repeat that again. So give it your background color. You come down to your fill, give it this. Now to give it your text color, double click on it. It's showing the fill now as black, change it to white, right? Now our button is not looking the same with what we have here. Now the download CV, I think the font is a little bit smaller compared to what we have now. So let's reduce this font size to, let's say 18, right? Okay, so let's also increase the space within it. The space, this one is a little bit long. So how will you do that? Here we have the padding. If I put 100 here, you can see how wide 1001 is very wide. If I put 30, right? Now this covers the horizontal padding. Why this covers the vertical padding? Right, let's say 40. And let's put this as 20. Hope we're guessing it. Are we following? Now, half of what we have here. Then, if you take note of what we have also, is the edge is somehow curved. It's called radius. The radius of the button is curved. So let's get that done here. This is where you will get your radius here. Corner radius under this part. I used 8 for the corner radius. Now let me reduce the height of this thing to, let's say 18. Okay. Hope we are following. Now you can also click here to reduce your box, Shift and 2 to zoom. Are we getting it? Now, since all these are one family, I can highlight all, then press my Shift and A, auto layout. Don't forget that. Sorry. Control Z. Okay, let's do that. Control A, Shift and A for the auto layout. I'm going to remove this and put it back here. So let's do Shift and 2 to increase. Now, just double click on this part. Come down here to make it absolute under this part. So with this absolute, you can move it around. you can move it to the desired position. Sorry. So with this now, you can note the space in between. The space between year to year is 15. Now you can increase that. You can increase that, let's say 24. Now you have the increased space. So don't forget this line. The line won't follow it. So you have to adjust the line. So this is what we have now. Now, how will I bring in my... So with this now, you can move all this around. So that is one of the most important stuff about auto layouts. It makes your job like one whole big family. You can move it around. So let me bring in my image. I'm going to import my image now by coming down to my shape, image. Where do I have that image? Let me share my... You can actually use any image of your choice. Let me see if I can use this. Just click place all, right? Let me see if it will flip rotates minus 90. Sorry. Let me take it back to the norm. So this is one of the best ways to rotate your image. Yeah, just click and drag to the side. So this is what we have on this part. Now you can also color the background of your, let's make this also one family. We have this as auto layout, then hold on your shift then to click, or you click and drag all to alight. Now let's make them one family, shift and A to alight all. Now we have this big box around everything, right? So now I want to move it to the edge side. So once you click, you can just come down here. Let's say 40. You can see there's more space here. You can see 40. Let's say 80. The higher the number, you can see that this one is outside. So click on this middle button to bring it down to the middle. Now we have this. Let's put it as 82. Let's increase it a little bit more. Now, I also want to increase the top part. I have to come down here. Let's say 40. Right? So take it to the middle. Hope we are getting the whole process. Now, I want to color this background. You can give it a color. The fill is a little bit gray, not like white. Now, when designing, to edit this, just double click on it. Now, it's not advisable to use like black, 000 for your black color. You can reduce it. You can reduce it so that it won't affect the height. Now, since I'm using this black, I can maintain the black all through on the other part of my, just click there. This is a black we're working with. So just work on that. So with this, you can apply the same principle to any design. You can apply the same principle to any design. So let me duplicate this. We have about 2 designs now. Shift and 2 to increase. Okay, so let's look at other designs that we can use. We have different designs here. So just focus on something simple and straightforward. We have different designs. So as time goes on, you're going to learn some key stuff about key designs and all that. So just do something simple and also professional enough. Something simple and presentable. Yes. So, and there's some most important stuff your email page should have. Your call to action button, your text describing what you sell and all that. So there are different email page that you can also go through here to feed your eyes on different stuffs, on what to do, on what to create. So in our next class, this is just introduction to what we're doing. On our next class, we are going to dive more into what we'll have. So this is also simple. Hello, I am blah, blah, blah. So it's more like a portfolio website. But one thing about this part, there is no call to action on the email page, which is not that good enough. No call to action on the email page. So most email page, all email page should have a call to action, telling people what you want them to do, right? So all standard email page should have a CTA, a call to action. Either you tell them to input their email, to fill a form, to click a button, to donate and all that. So you can also look at different churches' email page. You can look at just type different churches in Nigeria and check what they have. We have Daystar email page too, daystarng.org, so check their email page. So we have different email pages you can use to get your tax done. I think on this part, they have about 2 call to action buttons. So as time goes on, I'm going to show you how to cite some errors on some websites, because this two now, there's no difference between these 2 call to action button, telling your user which one is most important or which is most important from them. So we are going to look at different buttons and laws of, so they are also breaking the laws of UI UX on this part. So we are going to look at, let me show you some one other site, Open Classroom. So this Open Classroom, once you open it, you are going to see 2 different buttons, the primary button and the secondary buttons. Okay, it's loading. So if you have 2 buttons on a 2 buttons on a site, look at this part now. On this part, this one is showing you that this is the most important button here, Start Application or Discover Training. So this is like a primary button, while this is a secondary button. But take a look at this. We just have 2 buttons saying the same thing. You won't know which is the most important and all that. So, and also the buttons are not also in line. If you are using a rounded button, you should maintain the same thing all through. So they are not in line. So I think that is that for that.